Hello, everybody, and welcome to When is a Door Not a Door? When it's a jar. For you non-English native speakers, that's a joke. So, last episode, we went through and realized that the 500 node, 50 block limit is still in existence. So, what I want to do this episode is take that to the next step, and that is multi-pathing of a 500 node limit based on door activation. Now, what you can see on this path now is I have two doors. Each door leads to a 25 block long section. Actually, it's 25 blocks to the block I'm standing on now, but basically, there's two other paths that they can take to come towards me, and by opening and closing these doors, they should travel back down the path they're on and back up the other path because it's within their 500 node limit. Just recapping that, if one door is open, they'll come down that path. If I close the other door, etc., this is the path that they'll head down. Then if I close this door and open the other door, they should backtrack up this path to come down the other path to get to me. Now, obviously, by cycling both of those doors back and forth, I can force them to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So let's just have a look a bit of that in action, shall we? Okay, I've started a wave here. And, well, let's see. I've got all the doors open. Well, these two doors, just to try and attract them to whichever one they're going to decide is their nearest. The path to the 50, though, the very long run, is closed. So they shouldn't come down there. Or if they do come down there, they'll travel down there a certain distance and then realize there is no way to get to me that way and travel back. Let's just keep an eye on and see what exactly is going to happen here and see if we can play about with them and get this to work. Now, I've got the traps close to me so you can see what's going on, but to be honest, I wouldn't want to be opening and closing doors like this when the trap that's killing the zombies is this close to me. You know, if you're in early game, ideally you want these traps way off at the start of the run, so you have plenty of time to see if there's a zombie that's managed to get through your various traps and is still coming to you, so you've got time to go and close the door and open the other one, or let's just say open the other one first and then close this one. Otherwise you're going to end up with zombies having broken paths if you have both doors closed, and they'll stand and start bashing everything. So I'm leaving it to the last moment for zombies to get through those traps, but I just wanted to do it like this so that you could see clearly what was happening. Now, there are actually a few zombies I just noticed trying to come down the main path, but they're turning back around and going back again. I'm not sure, and I've got no real way of telling exactly how many blocks they've decided to head down first before they turn around. And I don't know whether or not it's due to me standing on these stairs that's causing them to think that. I know that sounds strange, but when you're building your base, use whatever spawns you can to work out if things act slightly differently based upon what you're standing on. Right, here comes a zombie. And they're dead. Right. So, there's more zombies coming behind. So they are pathing this way now. Fantastic. And they are coming all the way to me. If any of them get past this trap, I'm going to close the door. He's a butcher. Excellent. Let's open up that door then, because I'm not going to give the butcher time. He's still coming this way, but I'm going to close the door. See, that's why leaving it so late, but it's fine. They'll still repath and go back. So the butcher's decided to go back. So he's calculated the 500 or the 25 blocks backwards, and then the 25. See, just kill this dude, I think. Another one got through. It's because I'm leaving that trap so late in the system. I don't want that butcher to get through. Leave the trap so late in the system and not giving myself time to actually react and sort things out. Which is, this is what I said. What you want to have is the last, say, 5 squares or 6 squares. You want to leave... give yourself time to decide that, yeah, that boss or whatever it is coming towards you, it needs to go back. So at the moment, things are going well. The pathing that I'm trying to test here is clearly functioning. So excuse my reaction times and doing stuff while I'm talking and playing. The point of this exercise is on a 25 path out, a 25 path back, can I open and close doors and force them to do things? Now, that one zombie then, because he took damage, responded by to attacking what he took damage from. Now, we'll come into all that later. At the moment, we're still going through pathing it and more complex types of pathing. So this is what I'll basically class as type 2 pathing. It's not just a straight path. It's where we're manipulating the zombie pathing AI to get them to go and do what we want them to do, rather than just a straight, oh, let's charge at the bad guy. You know, charge at the good guy, actually. Okay. They keep dodging the traps. And their new mechanics of their evasion on some of these zombies is it's pretty impressive. They can just run through some traps. I mean, really, those you have 20 squares there when you have just death and mayhem of traps. And anything lucky enough to have got through 20 squares is not just going to come down the other 20 squares. It's going to be sent back through the squares it's just come from. Now, yeah, okay, you're going to say, well, they're going to run out of charges. And we'll cover that at another point. At the moment, we're not worried about how many charges the traps have. We're just sending zombies on a pathing exercise to show that they instantly recalculate a path, check their 500 node or 50 block pathing algorithm and go, yep, we can now get to our target. Now, we're going to try something a bit more complicated now. Check to see what's around. Okay, let's start playing about with seeing how well, even though they're on this path, can they re-navigate out of this 25 block to the 50 block. Now, I didn't see any clear indications that they were repathing. What I'm checking for now, this is the important bit, what I'm checking for is, although the sum of the one path and the other path is more than 50, they have to re-navigate across the world mesh. And some, in the past, you could actually extend your 50 block limit past. Let's see what happens now. So we had plenty there, nearing, I would have said, block 30 or even 35. I've closed the door on them. Are they going back? They are, you know. Now that's interesting, see, because they were just about to hit that trap. They're not far off it, which is about block 30 or so. And this is 25 blocks this way. So already I'm pushing the boundaries of that 50. I was definitely in the 55 area. I don't think I was 60 blocks. They would have been on that trap at that point. But we definitely passed a 50 block limit there. Now, what I expect the zombies have done is they've realized they can't get to me because the door's closed. And in doing so, they... Oh, he's attacking that trap. They kind of went... tried to get off the path. I think some of them dropped off the side. So some of them were looking at, can I get off my 50 block path here and get back on the world mesh and find another way to get to the player that seems to have run away somehow. And then do another pathing check to see if they can get to me. But that's interesting. That's interesting. I need to play a bit more with the limits on extending the path past 50 blocks by using the world mesh as an in-between. But yeah, you're kind of in risky ground if you're relying. Oh, they're coming down there. This is interesting. Look at this. If I stand here, they come towards me when the doors are closed. If I stand here, they run away. If I stand here, they come towards me. If I stand here, they run away. That is fascinating. So even though they're going to come back to me. So that was really fascinating. So even though this other way was open and there was no way through for them that way, if I stood behind the door, they would re-navigate to the 50 block pathway. If I stood to the side, they would happily re-navigate towards the door after me. Now, that can be one of two reasons. One is because they're using a projective line of sight function where you're putting the ray cast and they can see through the stairs and they can see me on the block, in which case they're then going to try and just break the door down to kill me. Or it could be because of some strange pathing mechanic by me standing to the side. I would have to test that further. But yet again, when you're creating your base, use daytime spawns and things like that to just stand on different squares in your base. And just make sure that the pathing you think is going to happen is happening. And nothing odd happens when you stand on new squares you've laid down. Because as you've just seen there, that was a perfect example of the AI changing the way it moves and does stuff based on what square it just decided to stand on. So they decided to shoot at me because I was visible up there. So I got a boss here. I'm just going to send this boss back and forth. Yeah, it's dead anyway. Probably the wave over now, you know. I mean, many creatures left. I think I've got all 3 doors open at the moment. What's this? Is it a butcher or something? Oh, yeah, I got the 50 run closed. It's a butcher. He's gonna come through. Send him back. This is the shortest route. I don't need to keep opening and closing the other one. I can just keep opening and closing this same one. Yeah, let's open it again. You should, yeah, turn back around because that's the shortest path. Speed back in the trap. Is he dead? If he wasn't dead, I just close again. Keep rinse and repeating up and closing the door until he's dead. But with multiple doors and multiple paths, I've now basically turned what would normally be a 50 block trap base into 100 blocks of traps that zombies have to navigate back and forth potentially several times. And more importantly, and this is where we're going to be trying to mess about with mechanics later on, is when a certain path gets destroyed, because you've got those guys that throw the logs and wherever else, if they destroy a certain pathway to me, and that pathway becomes non-functional, I can just open another pathway. Yeah, they're going to carry on destroying stuff on that broken path and having great fun and messing things up. But that can be repaired. All the rest of the zombies that do like to follow paths, they've now got somewhere else to go. And yet again, if one of those paths break because even more zombies turn up to like blowing up things, okay, I can open up another path. Okay, there will be limits to every paths I can probably afford to trap. But the point is here is the test of this is using doors, because this is when's a door, not a door. You turn them into walls or pathways for multiple ways in and out of your base for the zombies, causing a small area of traps to become effectively a very big area of traps through the use of doors. So I'm hoping you enjoyed that. So that's episode 2 basically of pathing. It's a bit more complex. This is what I'm going to call basically intermediate pathing, because we're now trying to play with the pathing of the zombies themselves and mess about with it. We're not just testing stuff, we're trying to mess with their AI. And I'll continue to make pathing and things more complex and advanced for the zombies, just to see how they're going to react. Are they going to react in the ways they used to react? I'm kind of like happy that I know, or is something new going to happen because they've made so many changes to the game? But we'll go through those. So I'm hoping you're enjoying this series so far. And yet again, thank you very much for the people that have been sponsoring my channel. It's very, very kind of you. Eric, you're a star. It's very kind. I will do my best, as I said, to put that to the best use I can. I'm now going to focus on evolving my base I've got here so that we can test and look at more complicated and interesting mechanics of these zombies. Thank you very much, everybody, yet again, and see you all next time.